Hi guys, my name's Manali. Welcome to this Cannabis-Enhanced yoga video. We're just going to do a really short sequence that's going to be good for your hips and spine, especially after a long day at work. And if you'd like to find some more helpful content like this, you can see my website and I'll put a link in the description below. But for now, just grab your favorite hybrid or indica strain, your yoga mat, some comfy clothes, and we'll get started. Start in recline bound angle pose, and all that is just lying on your back with the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. You can place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart just to feel your deep breath. And take a nice full inhale in and feel your ribs, belly and lungs expand. Hold the breath at the top and open your mouth and let out a sigh. And just take another full belly inhale. Feel your lungs and belly expand. Hold the breath at the top. And open your mouth and sigh it out. Take another full belly inhale, nice and smooth all the way at the top, but this time keep the lips sealed. And try and create that same sighing sound, but out through your nose. Bring your hands to your knees and gently close them like a book. Draw your knees in towards your chest and start to draw circles just to release your lower back. Keeping your breath nice and deep and creating that sound with your breath like ocean waves or wind through the trees. And roll over onto your right or left side. Take a little fetal position using your bicep as a pillow. And ground down in your palm and come to a tabletop position with your palms right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. I'm going to do a few cat-cow poses. So on your inhale, cow, drop your belly, round your shoulders back and gaze high. And exhale, cat, round your back, tuck your chin into your chest and push the ground away. Inhale, cow, drop your belly, really round your shoulders back and gaze high. Feel your sternum pull forward between your palms. And exhale, draw your navel into your spine and scoop your tailbone under. Do a couple more of these on your own breath, closing your eyes and doing whatever natural movements come to you. And come to a neutral spine. Bring your big toes to touch and make your knees as wide as your mat. And sit back on your heels for child's pose, just letting your arms extend long on the mat. And breathing fully, letting your stomach hang in between your thighs, and massaging your forehead back and forth on the mat. And take an inhale to bring yourself up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up nice and high for downward facing dog, just grounding down in your palms and really lengthening up through your back. And you can bend your knees, pedaling your heels as much as you want, just to get into your hamstrings and calves. Wherever you are, just keep breathing deeply and consciously. Gently press the tops of your armpits back towards your toes and reach your tailbone up and your heels down. Come down onto your knees and make your knees touch and let your heels go wide so you can sit down in between. Sit nice and straight with a flat back. Then bring your left palm down on the outside of your right knee. Bring your right palm down behind you on the ground. Inhale, lengthen up through your chest, and exhale, twist a little bit to the right gaze over your right shoulder. And inhale, come back to center Exhale, twist to the opposite side. And starting to twist from your navel up to the ribs. Then the shoulders and head come up last. And slowly come undone. Bring your knees hip distance apart, and you can test this by just bringing 2 balled fists in between your knees. And then bring your palms onto your lower back with the fingertips facing the ground. Inhale, gaze up high and roll your shoulders back. And exhale, back bend. Push your hips forward as you surrender your back. And just take it to a degree that's comfortable, not too deep. And on your inhale, use your hands to help you come up. And exhale, sit back down onto your heels and just close your eyes for a brief moment. And sweep your feet out in front of you. And just coming to Dandasana pose, which is just sitting with your legs extended, flexing your toes, and just find a moment to tune into your breath. Maybe round your shoulders back, move in whatever way feels good. Then inhale, sweep your arms up, reach up nice and tall. And exhale, fold over and just reach for whatever's in reach, whether it's your knees, your calves, or your toes. And just approach this pose as slowly and mindfully as you can. It's normal for us to try and jam ourselves into the fold, but see if you can just breathe and let the fold be passive as opposed to aggressive. Inhale, slowly rise, and then scooch forward on your mat just so you can lay down with your head on the ground. And bend both knees in, and cross your right ankle over your left, flex both toes, and then just hug your left thigh in towards your chest. And keep pressing your right knee down as you draw your left thigh in towards your chest, really getting that counter action in your thigh. Just notice your collarbones get broad as you massage your shoulder blades down onto the ground. Maybe you can sway left and right just to facilitate that movement. And slowly release your leg to the ground and switch sides, crossing the left ankle over the right knee this time, and drawing your right thigh in towards yourself. Just keep pressing that left knee down as you draw your right thigh in, really getting into your left hip socket. Just notice how the breath moves in this pose. I'm going to notice that the breath moves differently depending on the pose. So just take note here. And slowly release both feet to the ground. Walk your feet in towards your hips until you can graze your heels with your fingertips. And just shrug your shoulders underneath you, get super comfortable. Inhale and lift your hips up for bridge pose. Maybe clasp your hands underneath your sacrum and firm your forearms on the ground so you can get really stable. Try not to squeeze your butt here. Just use your core muscles to lift your hips up nice and high and tuck your chin into your chest. Exhale, release your palms and slowly lower down. Draw your knees into your chest and take a few circles here again. Hug your right knee extra tight and avoid your rib cage, and let your left leg extend long. Then let your right knee fall to the outside of your left hip. Maybe tee out your arms and gaze over your right shoulder for supine twist. It doesn't matter how far down your knee comes to the ground, but make sure that right shoulder blade is super glued to the mat underneath you so you can keep the twist in the right place of your back. And draw both knees into your chest, hug the left one tight this time and extend the right leg long. And supine twist to the right hand side, just making sure the left shoulder blade is super glued to the mat this time, and gaze over your left shoulder towards your left fingertips. Just remembering to breathe nice and deep, where the twist tends to constrict the breath. Inhale, bring both knees into your chest. Take a full inhale and squeeze yourself into a small ball. Give your knees a hug and a kiss. Squeeze the space between your eyebrows, your fingertips, everything around you, and take one more sip of air in. And exhale, Savasana pose. Just let everything go. Let your heels fall wide and palms face up. Take up as much space as you need. Return to your normal breathing and maybe spend a few minutes here, just noticing effects of the practice. Thank you for joining me for this Cannabis-Enhanced yoga. I'll see you soon.